Okay, and we are live. Welcome to the Come Cook With Me show. My name is Laura Hall. I actually have a few guests that are in the background. We're gonna bring them on in just a little bit. But I wanna say thank you, all of you, for joining in and coming live with us. So today we are making a wonderful savory Irish stew for St. Patrick's Day. So welcome. I see that a few people are coming on and saying hello. Hey, it's great to see you. Hi, Kedrick. Hi, Maria. Oh gosh, it's so great to see you, Maria. All right, so what we do in this community, we always say hello, who we are, and where you're from. So if you go ahead and post that in the comments as we get started. One of the reasons why we do that is because you get a chance to win whatever it is the gift is that we have going. And this week it's big. We took, it's actually sitting right here. Somebody in today's show is going to be winning this incredible Instapot. How about that? Yay! So not every week do we do I'll keep that in the background so people can see it. Not every week do we do an Instapot, but I thought since tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, it might be a great way to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and then I had a little running joke with my husband about, well, we'll find the money at the end of the rainbow, or the pot at the end of the rainbow. So I kind of thought that was kind of a unique way to do it. So if you're new to the show, one of the things we also like to do is share this video. So there's a little button that says share, and if you go ahead and share, you'll be entered into next week's show's giveaway. And a lot of the times I'll be doing a shake. Last week we did a 9-day cleanse pack, which was amazing because this particular viewer who won, Lori Dilworth, last week, because she's just been an outstanding follower and sharer of the shows, we upgraded her pack a little bit. So she's very excited. I'm very excited for her as well. So you never know what can happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started cooking first, and then I'll tell you a little history about how this show got started. So we're going to start off by browning in the Instapot. So we're going to turn it on to saute first, okay? And if you're new to the show and you're not familiar with how we do this, on Wednesday we always do Come Shop With Me. So you get all of the ingredients, you know what we're going to be cooking, and that's just telling me it's getting ready to get started to saute. So it's going to get nice and hot. And I'm going to put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil into the bottom. That's just one that I use. Okay. You want to cover the bottom of the pot. So while it's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and share with you how the whole cooking show came about. My kids, all of you know that my kids are in Louisville, or many of you know that they're in Louisville, and I kept getting questions about how to make certain things, and I was telling a girlfriend who's on my health and wellness team, and she says, you know, Laura, someone always asked me to open up a restaurant before, and well, that takes a lot of energy and effort, and I'm already have my work with my nutrition. So she said, why don't you start a cooking show? And so Sarah talked me into it, and we've almost been here live with you for almost a year. I mean, I can't even believe we're getting close to a year. It's just unbelievable. We have about 4 more weeks, and it'll be a whole year that I've been coming live to you. So that's how we got started. And then what I really love to do is, when we first got started, I was listening to some other people who were cooking, and they were telling me about their Instapot. And I thought, you know, a neat way to do this show would be to compare the traditional way of cooking that I grew up with and my kids grew up with the crock pot or slow cooker. This one happens to be a slow cooker. And then comparing it against, oh, this is ready to go. It's starting to heat up. So what you're going to do, we're going to compare the crock pot against the Instapot. Every show, that's what we do. And so that's really fun. So while this is getting heated up, you're going to add your celery and onions, which I've gone ahead and chopped those up. We're going to get those started to brown. And we're going to add our meat. which I have in the refrigerator. Let me grab it real quick. We're going to brown up the meat as well. And so I cubed this meat. It's ground chuck. You'll see the recipe, it's posted, but I just went ahead and cubed it just like that. It's really, really easy. So we're going to let this get brown. And what's really great about this particular crock pot, well, it's not a crock pot, it's a slow cooker. I'm going to take the lid off so you can see. This has been cooking for a while. It's really, really full. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to lift it up, but we'll give it a try. But this has the browning feature in it. So I love this. This is the all-clad one. You know what? I better stir it first before. There's a lot of liquid in here. And it is coming together. This has been cooking now for 2 hours. It's got 2.5 hours left to go on it, but it's really, really coming together. It looks just incredibly delicious. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna get it up. We'll see. But there you go. You can see it. There we go. It's really coming up really well. So what we love to do, in fact, Tierney was one of my guests over there. She was saying, so what do you do? I mean, which one tastes better? I said, well, you're gonna have to test it yourself. So we always have a lot of people for dinner on Fridays, and it just turns out to be a lot of fun because we do end up with a lot of food. And in fact, somebody asked me that last week. You know, what do you do with all that stuff that you cook? Well, we end up having usually a lot of people for dinner, and then they get to sample and say which one it is that they prefer. And with either one, they both turn out great, and it's really going to be a personal preference. But a lot of you who do this cooking with the Instant Pot and have grown up traditionally with doing slow cooker, I know that you're converting really quickly to the Instant Pot. And some of you haven't even decided, I know a few of you haven't even decided that you're going to do Instant Pot yet, but I definitely recommend it. So while we're doing some saute, what I like to do is fuse some of the herbs that we're going to be using. Just right in, just go ahead and add them. So I'm going to go ahead and show them to you. The first one is organic coriander. Look, you can even read it now. I learned how to use the special wand. Of course, I'm not used to using the camera this way, but isn't that awesome? I love it. So one of our viewers gave me a tip. Thank you, Sarah. She gave me the tip of how to use the magic wand, and you can actually reverse it. So now you can read everything the way that you're supposed to, which I love that tip. So what you want to do when you're buying your herbs, you want to get non-GMO, which is genetically modified. You don't need to have genetically modified food. You want to get organics whenever you can. So, you know, in my nutrition, what we do is we work on taking the toxins out of your body. And so there's no point in adding toxins in your body. Ooh, if I'm correct, that's a young boy who just got back from the vet. Oh, and he has a smile on his face. So those of you who also were aware, Wednesday we were not live at the grocery store because I had a sick fella on my hand. Rio was sick and we had to get him into the doctors, and he's been on IV solutions or treatments for the last 2 days, and so he just got released from the, I'm so excited. He just got released. Hi, honey. Oh, hello, good boy. So sorry. You know, anybody who has a fur baby, you know that the fur babies are the most important people, like, other than your kids. So I've got a little bit of fresh thyme, which I'm going to also put in, but I do have some dry thyme, so I'm going to go ahead and put that up there. Oh, I'll get used to using the camera this way, I promise. I'm just so excited that you can read the ingredients of what we're putting in. And this is browning up really nice. Just keep giving it a little bit of a stir. So I don't know, I've had a lot of people comment about making the recipe that we made last week. And I've got to tell you, it was probably, it was really yummy. I think it was Sydney's first time. Bree, was it your first time having corned beef? And the girls had just drove in, and so it was just perfect timing for them to eat. So the next thing I'm adding is cumin. And I know those of you who are watching are saying, if this is the first time you're watching this show, how come she's not measuring? Okay, I don't measure. I put in a rough estimate of measures, but I've always been a cook that I just go by what I know. So I didn't actually measure. I don't measure. All right, the next one we're going to use is paprika. This is a hot Hungarian paprika. Yummy. Non-GMO, organic. It's really nice and spicy. And we're going to use some organic black pepper. I got this is the coarse ground. That's a nice one. And the next thing we're going to add is the herbs of the Providence. I also had a viewer write in and say that they really would love to have me show the herbs a little bit slower. So I hope that I've adjusted that properly, especially now that you can actually see them. You should see Rio running around. He's got 2 Band-Aids on his paw, on his legs. Okay, and the next thing we're going to use, this is one of my favorite finds. It's the Japanese 7-spice. Again, all of mine happen to be McCormick just because that's where I shop, is Publix, and so that's what they have that are their best organics. They do have their own organic, I noticed, on a different shelf at this other Publix I've gone to, but all right, and then the last 2 spices that we're going to infuse in here. Ooh, I need to add this garlic too. So I went ahead and roasted garlic, and I know in the recipe it says 6 to 8 garlic cloves. Well, we love garlic, we love it. So this is a lot more than that. But I roasted it first, and then I chopped it up a little bit because you don't want to have the big chunks. And then we have these amazing spices. So when you say hello who you are, you'll also get a chance to win the spices. So, oh, and in fact, we'll pull the spices out of the bag as well. So, because I didn't actually do that, but every single person who's in there. Perfect. Okay, so who are these spices, and what is the big deal about them? Well, this is a gentleman who's on our nutrition team. He cleanses, he does all of our nutrition. But what he also has done is created these amazing spices, and they're called Danos. So I'll hold them up. This one is a little bit of the sorry, I'm going to get this correct. The savory, and then this one's a little bit more of the spicy. So Danos seasonings. It's Kentucky Proud. So he's out of Kentucky, obviously, and that's where you can find these spices. I'm going to use a little bit of both in them. But what I love about what he's done with these is that you can buy them off his website. You don't have to buy them in Kentucky. But he's created no sugar. They're low sodium. They're gluten-free. There's no MSG, and MSG is just horrible. You should always ask for, like, if you make sure you don't have MSG in your diet at all. I've posted about that before, and I should go and post find the post and send it up again. And then there's no GMOs with these, so it's just awesome. I have a very thirsty boy. I don't know if you can hear him drinking in there. So I've got a helper over here who's going to come on, maybe, soon, and just say hello. Whoops, I just lost my earring. Okay, so it's sauteed enough. I know, things happen in the kitchen. It's nice and brown, and I'm going to take the saute feature off. So once you take the saute feature off, it'll cool down a little bit, but you don't have to worry about that so much. And all I'm going to do is add the remaining ingredients that will get cooked in here, but not all of the vegetables. So I'm going to hang on and hang with me on that one. All right, so the next thing we're going to be adding, so I don't know, Sydney, if you want to come in and say hello. The next thing we're going to add is some diced tomatoes. So we have these particular brand. I love the Muir Blend Organic, and the reason why is because let me empty it and I can show it better to you. Add that into the pot. So it's certified organic. There's no GMO, but the most important thing is no PBA. So right there, see that symbol where it says, I'll get it closer so you can see it, non-PBA lining. So that means on the inside of this can, the bisphenol A hasn't been lined inside the can. A lot of canned goods have that lining in them, and it's a really bad toxin. It's actually an endocrine disruptor for people. And you know, years and years and years of cooking with canned vegetables that you have these bisphenol A in, you don't want to have that. So this is my beautiful daughter, Sydney. Hi. So she's going to talk to us a little bit about, because I asked her, you know, we're doing this for St. Patrick's Day, and she actually did a school trip to Ireland.
I studied abroad there.
Yes. So she's going to show one of the ingredients that we're putting in that she really you knew a lot about it. So you grabbed the Guinness. So it wouldn't be an Irish stew, right, without having
Guinness.
Having a Guinness beer.
I'm sure they know what that looks like.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to have 2 cups, and actually it's a whole bottle of beer. So just go ahead and dump it in. And tell us an interesting fact about Guinness.
I don't know an interesting fact, but I did get to go to the Guinness Brewery in Dublin, and I poured my own pints of Guinness out of the what do you call that?
Spout?
I guess, the spout. So they taught me how to pour it, because there's a specific way you have to pour it out of the draft, and so I got to take a class on that, which was really cool.
I love it. It's so great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I love you. And then you're going to grab a hearty red wine. Just anything is perfect, and you're going to use a cup of red wine. Okay. So we're not going to add all of the vegetables that are remaining out here, but we're going to put in all of the sauce. And the reason being is that the beef stew is going to cook for 30 minutes. And you don't want the vegetables to be too soggy. So I'm going to add in some bone broth. I like this particular brand of bone broth because it has low sodium. And this one is by Kitchen, hold on a second, I can't even read it. It's Kitchen Basics, yeah. So let me hold that up so you can see it. I love that particular one. And we're using the beef bone broth this time. You know, and I was thinking about it, what's really interesting is we're only going to be cooking this for 30 minutes. So you do not have to do, in the instructions, I did a quick release after the 30 minutes. But you actually could cook everything all together. And it's really optional. I just thought that when you add the cabbage, you don't want to add the cabbage until like the last part of it. But you can actually put in your carrots and your Lima Beans and potatoes. So we'll go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and do that. But I'm not going to add the cabbage, because the cabbage, that'll be the last thing. And so what I've done is I've quartered a mixture of red and golden potatoes. So I've gone ahead and quartered them. And we absolutely love carrots. So I've gone ahead and I've got some carrots and let me show you the parsnips. So I went ahead and did a mixture of carrots and parsnips right here. So there's the parsnips. It's a wonderful root vegetable. I'm going to add my thyme. So I've got 4 sprigs of thyme, and I've already gone ahead and chopped up some parsley. Add that in. And then I've got some baby lima beans in here. You could get lima beans or butter beans. Oh, that's going to be just incredible. All right, and then you want to get, the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of the paste, but as I used 1 whole can in here, the small can, so I'll show that to you. Again, Muir Glen, no PBA lining. And I'm going to do the same in this particular one. I'm going to go ahead and put in the whole can. So it's a little more than 2 tablespoons. This is the very small can. And then you've got 1 can of tomato sauce. Okay, let me add the other. I think we're going to use all 4 of the, yeah, we are, definitely. Okay, that's perfect. Awesome. This is just great. I was worried it would be too full, but it's not. It's just right. So I'm using the, and sorry about that, I know that was a little loud. So I'm using the larger Instant Pot for this particular recipe. You may have to adjust it if you have a smaller one. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to add, after we cook this for 30 minutes, we're going to do it on manual high pressure. You'll do a quick release, and then you'll add in your cabbage, right? And you'll just do 5 minutes, 3 minutes. 3 minutes will be sufficient. And then you're done. So what you want to do is you're going to put your top on. You want to make sure you hit it where it's not vented so that it's closed, and it'll create a seal, and lock it into place. I'm not going to get this started just yet because it's a little early and our guests are not going to be arriving, and this one still has about an hour and 40 minutes. So for the slow cooker, one of the things that you want to do before you add the cabbage, you want to wait to add the cabbage. It'll take about 10 to 15 minutes on the high setting, and then it'll be perfect. So you just keep an eye on it. So look at the bottom of this post. We'll be sharing all of the plated meals, so you'll have a chance to see which one wins, and we'll put all kinds of pictures as it progresses. So I need my other helper to come over here. So we had so many entries. This is Bree.
Hi.
This is daughter number 2. Not technically my daughter, but just like it. So, oh, we gotta kind of mix them all up.
Yeah.
Huh?
Do you want me to mix them?
Yeah, go ahead and mix them. So Bree went ahead and she put a sticky note for every single entry, and I don't know, what do we have, about 70 in there?
Yeah, we had about 70 people share the last week's corned beef video, so there's a lot of shares.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Do you want me to pick one?
Yeah, you pick it.
All right.
Drum roll.
Gotta unstick it. Sandra
Cheney. Oh my gosh, Sandra Cheney, you are like the luckiest person ever. I mean, this is like the 3rd time you've probably won something, and now it's the Instant Pot. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. So now we need to pick one more for the spices. Who wins the spices?
Okay.
I know, Amanda, you're going to be disappointed.
Okay. It is Gail Short.
Oh, wonderful. Congratulations, Gail. I'll send you a brief message so that we can get your address. And Sandra, I'm so excited for you. I have your address because we've shipped to you before, so this is great. Congratulations. So thanks, Bree.
You're welcome.
All right, everyone. So thanks so much for joining the show. I hope that everyone has an incredible St. Patrick's Day if you're celebrating. And now you have 2 recipes to kind of go for the holiday. And thanks again for all of the people who is that Sandra? Sandra? Yeah. Oh, you're gonna give it to your daughter-in-law. Oh, you're so great. Oh, that just touches my heart so much. Well, great. Your daughter-in-law is just gonna absolutely love you. So that's fabulous. Congratulations to your daughter-in-law. All right. So thanks everyone for joining with the show. Keep on sharing, and don't forget to say hello, who you are, where you're from. I don't even know what next week's giveaway is going to be because I'm so excited with Lori getting her pack this week that, you know, I don't know. That seems to be a lot of fun by doing a pack and not just a shake. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But have a wonderful weekend. If you're driving, I know there are a lot of people who are on spring break, my girls here, and they're going to be driving home. So if you happen to be driving because it's spring break, please be safe out there. And thanks for joining the show, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for the love, everybody. See you later.